Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm posting this pretty early in the morning, as you guys can probably see in the corner. I'm not sure if you can see the corners of my screen where it shows the time and stuff. But if you can see the time, it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning quite yet. But I decided I'd go ahead and post the results for week 11, because as you can see, the only game that's left is the Chiefs and the Chargers. And I do a grading video on that, so you'll find out the result of that tomorrow. So let's go ahead and go over this. So Browns beat the Steelers 7-21, which I believe is one of the shocks of the week. Browns defense had 4 interceptions for the first time since week 1 in 2012, so that's a pretty fantastic feat. Also, I'll be releasing a video on the brawl that happened near the end of that, probably tomorrow or the next day. Or maybe even later today, because I need to get all the facts, fines and suspensions and all that written down so that when I talk about it, I'll know what I'm talking about. The Cowboys beat the Lions 35-27. Dak has 38 wins since 2016, trails only Brady. Okay, so that's pretty impressive by him, I suppose, though most of Brady's are normally handed to him by refs, so not really that impressive. But, the Lions stuck in the game for basically the entirety of it, and that's without Matthew Stafford, who might be done for the year. So to come within 8 of Dallas is actually a pretty good feat for them. The Bills beat the Dolphins 37-20, basically sending them right back to earth. John Brown had 2 receiving touchdowns, which is tied for his career high, and also a little bit of a fun fact about that Dolphins game. The Dolphins tried an onside kick, and the kicker actually received his own onside kick, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. Plus, I think they had like a 101-yard kick return or something like that for a touchdown. So some pretty good and interesting plays there. Colts 33, Jaguars 13. Colts allowed 264 rush yards, most since week 11 in 2004, but still ended up winning, so that's good. That was the reemergence of Nick Foles, who actually did end up throwing 2 touchdowns that game. So that's pretty good. But yeah, Colts won. I think I predicted the Colts winning. I don't remember. I predicted it to be kind of a little bit closer, but hey, whatever works. Falcons dominate the Panthers 29-3 and have 4 straight wins versus the Panthers. Won 7 of last 8. So a lot of the people I had on my fantasy team, this is a little bit off topic, but not really. A lot of people on my fantasy team this week didn't produce very well, which sucks because I might have another 3-3 record where most of my winning teams normally actually lost. So that kind of sucks. Broncos 23, Vikings 27, and Minnesota actually had a 20-point comeback, which is tied 4th largest in franchise history. Yeah, the Broncos led 20-0 at half. Then it was 20-7 at the end of the third. So the Vikings pretty much scored probably at least 20 unanswered points before the Broncos scored their 3 points at half. Ravens decimate the Texans 41-7 and have won 4 straight games by 14 points or more. This was a clash between potential MVPs, and obviously Lamar Jackson got the best of it. He had, I think, 4 touchdowns and like 300 total yards from scrimmage or something like that from between his rushing and throwing. But yeah, that one I expected to be a lot closer, and obviously it was not. The Saints beat the Bucks 34-17 and bounced back after a horrendous loss last week. Michael Thomas, his first wide receiver with 90-plus receptions in first 10 games of a season. So he made history right there, and we're going to get to league leaders here in a second. Only one of the league leaders right now might change, or at least the order. And that's because Phillip Rivers is in 3rd place. I know that much, and he still plays today, which means unless he throws for 400 yards, he's not going to get 1st place, but he will probably hurdle whoever's in front of him right now and get 2nd. Jets won 34-17 to get their third win of the year. The Redskins knocked down to 1-9. The Jets are 3-1 versus NFC East teams, 0-6 versus all other opponents. So that's pretty bad. The 49ers beat the Cardinals 36-26, and the 49ers had 408 pass yards, most since Week 13 of 1999. So that's a 20-year gap from their last time they had the 400 or more yards, probably. And, obviously that moves the Niners to 9-7 and drops the Cardinals to 3-7-1. Bengals did lose to the Raiders 17-10. I expected it to be a lot more of a blowout by Oakland, which is kind of funny that it wasn't. But Max Crosby had 4 sacks, most by Oakland since Week 14 of 2015, which I would guess would have been Khalil Mack. But yeah, the Bengals are 0-10, Raiders are 6-4. Right now, the AFC West is actually pretty wide open. The Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders could all win that division right now, and even the Broncos, since I think. Well, no, they're going to be a couple games behind regardless. So the Patriots escape, and I mean escape, the Eagles 17-10. The Eagles scored the first 10. The Patriots scored the last 17. But Nelson Aguilar actually dropped a touchdown that could have won the Eagles the game. So there's that. And last night's game, oh yeah, by the way, 5 of the last 6 matchups decided by 1 possession or less. I think it might have been 4 or 5, or maybe that hasn't updated yet. And then the Rams beat the Bears 7-17, and Gurley had 133 scrimmage yards and a touchdown that game, which I think is his most this season. Just a refresher, the Seahawks, Packers, Titans, and Giants all had bye weeks. Real quick, let's look at league leaders now. Dak Prescott leads the league, 3,221 yards. Jameis Winston had 3,078. Rivers has 2,816. Goff has 2,783, and Kirk Cousins has 2,756. Chris McCaffrey leads the league in rushing, 1,059. Dalvin Cook with 1,017. Nick Chubb with 1,011. Jacobs has 923, and Marlon Mack has 862. Michael Thomas has 1,141 receiving yards. Mike Evans has 993. Godwin has 887. Amari Cooper has 886. And Julio Jones has 882. So it's a pretty close race for 3rd through 5, but not even close between 2 and 1. Defensively, Akeem Hicks leads the league in tackles with 110. Blake Martinez has 102. Budda Baker has 98. Bobby Wagner has 97. And Joe Schobert has 92. Sacks, 12.5 by Chandler Jones, 11.5 by Barrett, 10.5 by TJ Watt. Preston Smith and Myles Garrett each have 10. Which we'll get to why Myles Garrett will be dropping down the list when we have that video. Devin McCourty has 5 interceptions. Minka Fitzpatrick also has 5. Marcus Williams, Janoris Jenkins, and Marcus Peters all have 4. And then currently standings without taking the Chargers and stuff into consideration. So the Patriots are 9-1, Bills 7-3, Jets 3-7, Dolphins 2-8. AFC North, 8-2 Ravens, 5-5 Steelers, 4-6 Browns, and 0-10 Bengals. So, we have 6 games left to go. And so if the Ravens win and the Steelers lose any more games, then that division is basically locked by the Ravens. AFC South, you have the Texans and Colts at 6-4, the Titans at 5-5, and the Jags at 4-6. AFC West 6-4 for Chiefs and Raiders, 4-6 for Chargers, and 3-7 for Broncos. Now, if we beat the Chiefs, that doesn't move us up, but it moves them down. It gives Oakland for the first spot. We'll only be a game behind both of those teams. The NFC East, the 6-4 Cowboys, 5-5 Eagles, 2-8 Giants, and 1-9 Redskins. NFC North, the 8-2 Packers, who had their bye week, obviously. 8-3 Vikings, 4-6 Bears, and 3-6-1 Lions, who are without Matthew Stafford for, I think, the rest of the season. NFC South, 8-2 Saints, 5-5 Panthers, 3-7 Falcons, and 3-7 Bucks. Same deal here. If the Panthers continue to lose and the Saints continue to win one or two more games, then the Saints have that division on lock. Same thing with Green Bay, besides the fact that they have the Vikings behind them. NFC West, 9-1 49ers, 8-2 Seahawks, 6-4 Rams, and 3-7-1 Cardinals. Now, the Rams still have a chance at a playoff spot, maybe a higher one if the Seahawks falter, but other than that, these are basically going to be the standings for this week. And then we'll be doing my prediction video will be out Thursday morning or afternoon before the Thursday night football game on week 12. My Chargers review and grading will be tomorrow, and probably later today I'll talk about the situation involving the Browns game from last Thursday. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.